Drains. Drains. Drains.
My exploring name is ISO, and I started exploring, well, the first time I explored something was in 2008, but I didn't really properly start exploring until 2014. Well, I'd just generally say drains because they're cruisy, offer a bit of variety. Cavities are obviously the best, but they're a bit hard to get into sometimes. They're a bit dodgy. Overall, I'd say drains.
Cool. And only cool people do drains too.
Yeah, that's right. Only cool people like me and Doug.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bit of a tough one. Probably. Well, the one that always sticks in my mind is the first time I did Dreadnought here in Melbourne. It was at the 2015 Clannies, and there was a bit of a pre-Clannies event that was going on, and it was a party, and then I turned up late, and then everything was finishing, and people were just telling me, "We're going to do Dreadnought, we're going to do Death Star." So I didn't know what these were really. I'd heard of them, and so went out to Dreadnought, and people were just descending down this manhole in the middle of this field, and then I sort of went down, dropped down there, turned around, and there's this enormous cavity, like dozens of people just wandering around the place. It was pretty mind-blowing with the dull thud of the fans in the background, the heavy bass. It really was like entering another world, so I'd probably say that. Well, I've had a miss before, probably not that many near misses. I had one pretty big miss where I got busted climbing a large transmission tower not long after I started exploring, and that sort of put me off topsides for a very long time. I still feel a bit funny about going to topsides. Thankfully we didn't get too much of a penalty after that, but it wasn't a fun process to go through, so I did have a miss rather than a near miss.
That was Delta. Was it the Delta?
Yeah, Delta. Delta/Amiga. Yeah. We can call it that now that it's gone.
Yes.
I'd say it has in a pretty big way. I did a course in chemistry at uni, and that's sort of where I discovered the Cave Clan and started exploring. And at that point, I was like, sort of primed to go into the drug development industry, sort of pharmaceutical science and all that. But then I wasn't really looking forward to it, but then going in drains and sort of understanding how drains worked and how they interacted with the environment basically led me to a career in environmental science, because I wanted to know what I was wading through when I was walking out the outfall of Chastity Belt or Bob's Tomb or whatever. And I actually do that for a living now.
Cool. Or 69er.
Or 69er. Worst. Hydrogen sulfide.
That's what I was going to say.
Look, if I didn't know them 18, because otherwise there's all kinds of weird duty of care issues that could happen. Yep. If I knew them, or if they were a relative or a friend of a relative of a friend, and probably younger. Like, I used to go exploring with my brother a bit, and he was probably, 14 or 15. He's 19 now. So yeah, it depends. Depends on the exploring, and it depends on the sex, really.
And it doesn't really matter as long as you're only exploring with people over 18.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean that's a crucial point, isn't it?
Yes, because I'm trying to catch pedophiles out with those questions. So you've passed.
Yeah. Actually, I'd probably go sex at this point. I mean, exploring's boring. Why would you explore? Why would you put stuff on Instagram? Just go and have sex or something.
Yep.
You know, it's something consistent. I like that because you always get the same thing every time. Now, this is a contentious one. Generally, straight edge. But if I'm doing a drain, I've done a dozen times. If we're all going down a drain or a cavity and a good group of people, not too sus, then I'm happy to get blasted going down a drain. And generally, I don't do more than that. So.
And you had to say that because there's video footage of you off your face in drains in dungeon.
Oh yeah, I need to cover my bum, right? Like all of my awkward sort of answers to questions.
Speaking of covering your bum, what's the best or funniest poo you've done while exploring?
I should probably have a better one of these because I've probably used a drain as a toilet many times. Especially if you're on the way home and you really need to go. Fall in Springvale is a great drain for that. Excellent toilet facilities. I would probably say I was going to do a drain with a non-clan mate, and I said, okay, just wait up a bit at the outfall, and then I came out 5 minutes later and he's like, wait, what were you up there for? I said, I just installed a new feature in the drain. That's it. That's literally the funniest poo story I have.
All right. Well, yeah. I thought you were going to say you were so embarrassed at doing a poo up there that you said, I was just jerking off, but no.
No, I'm not that funny. It'd be great if I was if you had the opportunity to drop the things off bridge rooms or etc. But I'm a bit too shy for that kind of thing.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add before we finish up?
Not really, other than Urbex is crummy and it's a stupid thing, but the Cave Clan's are really good, so you should all join the Cave Clan.
Cool. Well, thanks, ISO. Thanks for your time. That was good.
How's thing going?
How's thing going?
Yeah.
Are you hammered?
Yeah.
Are you filming me?
After 4, yeah.
Are you hammered? After 4, fuck, you can only drink 2, and then you...
Exactly, but it's more like 8 because each one was 2.1 drinks.
You said 8 before you lying.
You better go home and have some fucking practice.